Well, I'm so happy that I get to be with you again. Uh, the full moon is has been quite interesting during these times because the full moon usually revs up your emotions to a high pitch usually, and it's not very good for everybody who's under stress right now. We're all hopefully everybody's at home doing what they should do. But while you're at home and worrying about, everybody's worrying about their work, their finances, the whole world, and of course about everyone who is helping out there and getting sick. And it's been quite an experience for us. It's the worst thing I've experienced since World War II, when we used to have a piece of paper to go and buy, especially meat or deli. And they had to wait in line, and usually by the time you got up there, it was all gone anyway. So this full moon, I spent most of my magic in front of my altar, sending healing light. But I also called upon Maka. Maka is a Celtic goddess of justice, and we don't do harm, but she's the one who can go and not necessarily harm people, but have the villains caught or destroyed in some way by their own hand, usually. And so I called on Maka and said, "This is it. We've all tried, all the witches of Salem, I know, and I'm sure witches around the globe have tried to kill or destroy the virus. And I did that again today. And that means for all of you, you visualize it, whatever it looks like. It doesn't matter. You're not going to catch it by visualizing it. And then destroy it in your mind's eye. Neutralize it. Just crumple it. Blow it away. And everyone that does that, it helps. All our thoughts together are very powerful. We're learning that more and more about the brain and light energy and how we use it. Tonight we're going to talk about tarot, and I'm going to do some readings for you again, which is fun, but also important. Sometimes you get some really important messages from the cards. One of the ways that you use cards, you use it by making sure you look at the screen of your mind's eye. What are you seeing here? The cards, it depends on the art. I use cards that I think are pretty or nice, because most of the cards have the same imagery, and it's all archetypal energy and images that we all understand usually, or at least it's sort of programmed into our brains. Um, for example, I'll give you an example. In 1970 something, a lady came for a reading, and I was looking down at the cards, and I saw the Eight of Wands, but I looked in my mind's eye, and I saw a copper pipe leaking in her cellar. That reminded my brain, I was sitting in front of her, so her energy connected to this imagery. And I said, "Oh, you have a leaking pipe in your cellar, a copper pipe." She says, "Where do you see that?" And I said, "Here." This is the card that reminded me, or brought that imagery into my mind. And that's what psychism is. That's how these cards work. So even though it comes with a book that tells you supposedly what each card means, but the facts are, it might be different for everyone. The Eight of Wands doesn't necessarily tell you there's a copper leaking pipe anywhere, but it gives imagery that triggers your own psyche, and you need to pay attention to that. And impressions and the impact and the pictures that you see within your mind's eye can be more truthful than any card ever. You don't need to turn the cards upside down. I don't know who thought of that. There are enough bad cards in there that can depict things that are not quite good. So you don't need to have every card have a negative or a positive side. They all tell a story, and that's why we're reading. Now you and I are doing it with one card. I'm showing you. I'm pulling a card for you. That's only one, and it tells me a lot about it. Once I've heard your name, I have these impressions that come into my mind as I'm pulling the card. It's your card. And then I allow my psychic mind to tell me what you need to hear. And I love doing it in these times because we're all eager to have something good or something amazing happen, or at least stay healthy. And I can't understand why some people still aren't wearing masks. But it's human nature, I guess, to be, I don't know. But wearing a mask is saving someone else, actually, and saving yourself as well. I think that staying home is the best thing we can do. Now I want to use the cards tonight, and it's full moon, so I want to use them in a more magical way. I'm asking for the cards or my psyche to bring forth the magic that you need from each card. And once I hear your name, that will happen. It's going to be fun. Don't forget to share and like, because then we can help more people. I can reach more people that way and help them. Maybe some people can never go to have a reading with anyone. So when you do the readings for Enchanted Facebook with Heather and myself, and it's a wonderful chance for us to help those who don't even have a chance to have a reading. I'm so happy that some of my dearest friends around the globe are in touch with me now. That's so nice. I'm in their living room or whatever, which is so fun. It's a great way to travel, astrally travel, and then travel through the internet to everybody's house. I'm vacationing somewhere else. I have a sip of water. Oh, and today on the full moon, my daughter Penny and I charged some ribbons, very long ribbons, and drew symbols for protection and healing on each end of the ribbon. And we tied it into the tree that's outside of my front window. So to protect my whole neighborhood and to help heal the whole neighborhood. So if you have a particular symbol or even a piece of rag of fabric, you could cut a nice long one to tie on a branch, and take a magic marker or something and write a symbol or a name. If you're Christian and Catholic, you might want to write a saint's name, or glue a picture of the saint on one end of the ribbon and tie it to the tree for protection and healing. We want to help in any way we can. These are old methods from ancient times. The Cooley tree is in Cornwall, England, and it still has ribbons at the very tip top of shredded that have been there for, I don't know, 100 years. It's right next to Modron's Well in the forest. And that tree has been putting magic into the world all this time only by the magic mirrors, magic ribbons, and the symbols that they bear. And the symbols that you put on them has your energy, your intention is in that ribbon. It's so simplistic, but magic usually is in some way. It's not that difficult. It's understanding that your intention is powerful, that you can make things happen with your mind. Oh, and by the way, Pythagoras gave us universal light for healing, the colors. And we've been using that for centuries, of course. Red orange, like the glowing of a coal, that's the color to send to anyone who's critically ill. And you try to bathe them in your mind's eye and put that light into their body to help heal them. And anyone, like I said, can do that. It's universal healing. It's the way it should be. And you can do your prayers. A prayer is a spell, and a spell is a prayer. That's what we do. We see the end result, and we ask the gods and goddesses or the ancient people to please help us, or the universe, which I usually ask, because the universe has all the answers, to help me manifest my intentions. I think that's enough about reading tarot. Many people will probably not embark on that, but maybe you should try it. It's a very interesting way of divination. But don't read for yourself because you'll cheat. You lay the cards out and it's not what you asked. You'll just shuffle them again and try again, and that's not the way it works. So you're better off allowing someone else to do your cards. As you're calling in, I take whatever name comes first, second, third, as they come in. And I'm hoping that I reach you and help you. And I hope the gods and goddesses help me to be psychic enough to help you. It's my job. It's been my job for my entire life, really. And Jessica Ortiz, okay. And Jessica. Well, you got the Chariot. The Chariot, of course, has to do with mind travel, spirit travel, letting your spirit grow. And now that you're either working out there where it's dangerous, or you're at home, finding time you never had before, this is the time to allow your spirit to come into balance, to use your brain and your mind to manifest your own life. Right now, take care of yourself. Visualize what you want the outcome to be. And let the ancient ones and the powers that be for you help you. And it will come to be. This is a card that says you can do this. Lauren Brabazon. Lauren, I have a friend named Lauren. She's a high priestess of the Cabot tradition, and she's a graduate of Harvard, and she knows how to pronounce all the Celtic names, which are very difficult to pronounce. The Emperor. This is an authority. And this is saying that you are the authority right now. Don't wait for someone to give you permission to do the things you need to do for yourself right now and your family or the people around you. You must take action. You are the authority right now. And we have Carrie Ann Romano. I'm so bad with them, sorry. I'm so bad with names. This is your card, the card of temperance. That means you need to not panic. Take a nice deep breath and trust your nature and trust the world of magic and trust the world of spirit. No matter what your religion is, no matter what your spiritual bent is, it's real. And this can help you. Your spirit can protect you, help you grow. And for some reason, this says you need to take your vitamins. So let's have a cup of tea and relax and balance your mind tonight. It's full moon, and the full moon can make us a little crazy. McColgan.
Lisa.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Lisa, let's see your card, okay? The Empress, here's another authority, but this is a goddess that represents, supposedly, a goddess of some kind. We view our gods and goddesses as ancestors. They're still alive in the other world, and they're really not floating on a cloud anywhere. They were right here with us at one time, and their spirit is still alive. This may represent a spirit guide that you have, and it probably comes from your family. It could be a grandmother, it could be an aunt, it could be a friend who's in the other world and helping you right now. Listen to her voice. Be confident. Be the goddess yourself. This is what this is about, invoking the goddess within you. Kim Bush. Let's see what card this is. Oh my goodness, Kim. Doesn't get any better. This is the High Priestess. High Priestess talks of dedication. To be clergy in any spiritual path at all is to guide others and to help others and to know how to speak to people in a manner that is not abrasive. Speak to people in a kind manner, no matter what the issue. Anger never quiets anger or problems or arguments. It just doesn't. You must learn to use your words carefully. Ella Esposito. That conjures up all kinds of pictures to me of Spanish dancers and all kinds of things like that, which I love. King of Swords. I believe that you have someone around you that wants to protect you or thinks that he knows better than you do. I don't think that's true. I think that you need to do your own counseling. That's called a control freak. Whoever this is that's trying to tell you that he can do better for you than you can do for yourself is wrong. And this says that he's a control freak. That doesn't help. That's a red flag. Denise, Ali. Denise, we have the King of Cups. A lot of royalty coming up on these cards for everybody. The King of Cups is a very, very kind person. Usually has money. Comes along, really a water sign usually. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. But sometimes it's not the sign. Sometimes it's just the person an older man who can help you. And it can represent a god as well, or a guide. But it also, in the physical world, this is someone maybe coming to help you, and you may not even know who it is yet. Lisa Kelly. Oh my goodness. This is what I want this card for me, too. Everybody wants this card. It's called the Wheel of Fortune. And it represents the fact that whatever you're doing is the right thing to do. Keep going. Don't let anyone stop you from achieving your goals. That will come to fruition in time. Not immediately. We're all on hold by Mother Nature right now. But in the near future, I would say your projections will come to fruition. Wonderful. That's fun. Wonderful to have that. Kelly Perry. Oh, almost a Katy Perry, huh? I wonder if you sing. Oh my goodness, Kelly. You have the Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands, it's a staff. It can be something alive, as you see, especially in the weight deck. The weight deck is very simplistic, very easy to read with. And this says growth. So immediately, that's what we all need to do right now, as we're sitting at home wondering if I can get to the grocery store. And if I do, will they have any food? And what's happening in my future. It says you need to take hold and start learning. It's about education, really, for you. Growth, mind growth. You need to rethink some of the ways you've been looking at things. I think we all do. We have to see the world in a different perspective. But your life, it has to be looked at from a different perspective. And this is telling you, you can find growth. That means you're not going to do without. Things are going to work out for you. What do we have? Audrey Henry. 2 names, Audrey Henry. Page of Wands. A page, in the card world, we don't know if it's a female or a male. It doesn't really matter. Unless it's about a young person around you, and it could be about a child. I don't know if it's your child or someone else's, or that a child is coming. Brings good news of growth, and that means good news of things coming. Most likely this is good news about finances. Cheryl Green. Green. Oh, I can't wait to see the green leaves on my tree, the one that we hang the ribbons on. I was hoping today with the sun that some of those little leaves would start peeking out, but it hasn't happened yet, but it will. This is justice. Justice will be served, you've heard that many times. So you have to understand that your behavior we reap what we sow, as they say. Everything you do, good or bad, you'll get that back. If you do good things, it'll come back. If you do something bad, it's going to come back. And that's justice. That says that we have to learn from our mistakes. And that's all right. We learn how not to. When I first went into business, I didn't go to business school. I had no clue what I was doing, but my purpose didn't have anything to do with money anyway. It had to do with magic, of course. And I had to learn how to balance things, and I I had to learn, what I have done, and if that is going to come back to me in some form, if what I did, and sometimes it's a mistake that we've made that is horrendous, and that mistake does have repercussions for us. We learn what not to do. And so in business, when I had a mistake, I said, well, I'm not going to do that next time. I'll do that a little differently. That's a hard way to do it. But usually we learn lessons really in a hard way. Keisha Johnson. Keisha. That name has fantasies of a singer who dances. Queen of Pentacles. Now, either she's a very rich queen, or I don't know, she's a very wise woman. It looks as though you're psychic, and you must know it by now, and you should think about whether or not you can find the path of witchcraft, and possibly you already are, but you don't know unless you understand and do your research on what path you really want. We don't recruit people. You'll have to do this for yourself. Lois Fitzgerald. Now we have the King of Pentacles. And I pulled this from the opposite end of this deck. So it was obviously meant for you. And this has to do with money. It has to do with finances. And this is about saving. This is someone who can sit on a throne of money, because that money has been tucked away somewhere. And if you haven't been able to do that, you have to learn a way to do that. If we put $10 a week in a bank account and never touch it, ever, it accrues all kinds of interest, and you'd be surprised how that comes in handy when you're my age, like 88 years old. It might help. Christina, fear. Fear is something that gets us nowhere like anger. And it's so easy on a full moon like this to get so almost paranoid and afraid and sleepless. A lot of us can't sleep on a full moon. Just can't. My brain's going 90 miles an hour. And we need to this card says you're victorious. That means whether you know it or not right now, you're winning. I don't know what you're winning. You're winning, you're actually winning at love. Whatever that means. Sometimes the absence of love, or love that's walked away, is a good thing. That means bye-bye, and sometimes we don't realize that, do we? We keep pining away for someone, and they're long gone. That's lack of self-esteem. This says you won the battle, whatever that battle was. Waylon, S. Oh, no last name?
Yeah.
Oh, good. The technician says your last name is long, so I probably can't deal with it, okay? Now this is, wow, the Ten of Cups. At this point, it's time to sit back and think about what you really, really want, because it's available. It's like you can start your career, or a career, from the beginning and the get-go right now. You can follow your dreams and they'll be fulfilled. That means you don't have to do the same thing you're doing now. You can do something completely different. and you will be successful, and you will help many people. That could be your family, but it could be just an inkling of the people that you could help with the new ways that you might do things. Interesting. Um, I have a feeling you have a very clever brain as well, and I think you know that. Helen Rose. Roses are the flower, the goddesses is the rose, the moon. Now, you may be ruled by the moon, and I have no idea, of course, what your astrological signs are. And by the way, you're not just a sun sign. I'm not just a Pisces. I'm a Gemini rising with a Cancer moon. Cancer moon is a lot of emotion with Cancers. However, this moon says that you should allow yourself to be emotional. Allow yourself to recognize the situations that you're in right now. It's okay to cry for a little bit. And then once you've got finished with feeling bad, think about all the good things. Write them down on a list, all the good things you've done in your life and you have. Nora Easter, that's northeast. That's what it says to me, northeast. That's where we are, northeast. Nor'easter. Esther, maybe they call it Easter. Ace of Pentacles. That doesn't get much better either. Now the Ace of Pentacles, of course, in a pentacle, the circle represents the God, goddess, the Tao, the force, the all, the universal mind, protecting all animals on earth. We're animals. We're included with the giraffes and the hippos and everybody, and the little masked animals that run around Salem sometimes, knocking on. We have turkeys too. They stop traffic sometimes downtown Salem. I think that's hysterical. And we do have to stop. You can't run them down. You have to wait till they decide to get out of the road. Ace of Pentacles. Education. No matter what that education is, it's where you should be right now. And what you should be doing is educating yourself. I don't know the subject, or I would hope that it had something to do with spiritualism, but it may not. You may need to educate yourself on very simple things. Get the laws and the rules straight. Teresa Jackson. Teresa, I had a girlfriend in grade school, Teresa. She was like a tomboy. She was really funny. And she was tough. And I wasn't. But we still got along. At first, she didn't like me in the second grade. In fact, she punched me in the stomach. And then, of course, the teacher grabbed her and me, and we became great friends. And this is, look at this, oh my goodness, all the cups. This is, this is another one that says you could have anything you really want. You can't be too miserly. It takes money to make money. You can't just hold on to it. It's not going to do any good. You have to spend money to make money, and that may be something you have to learn. Rachel LeMay. Does that imply French? A French name, possibly? I think so. I don't want you to know how ignorant I am that I don't know what that means, but I don't. The world. Yes, the world. You have in your grasp right now the ability to change your world in the most wonderful way. You need to look at the world again. This is another card that says you need to look at the world in a different perspective, which is what I could say to everybody, because that's what we're all doing right now. But in your case, it's a really good time for you. Take the time. Stop fretting about what you can't do. Think about all the things you can do right now, no matter what it is. Susie Arnold. Susie Arnold. Susie, be careful of someone. This is a thief, so you have to be careful about someone around you who might either steal material things from you or maybe steal your heart, and that's not good either. You know, or maybe steal your ideas. I think this person might be a liar more than a thief. And Morgana Telford. Morgana, ooh, what a powerful name. The triple goddess. Morgana. And she's someone to, but, well, there are three triple goddess. So, Mav, Maka, and Morgane, are three of the goddesses. I think that calling upon all three is sort of almost troublesome. It's hard to do. And they're very powerful, and they may not answer. Our gods and goddesses don't answer if you don't know them, and they don't know you. And this says whatever your argument is, or whatever your angst is, whatever your guilt is from the past, you need to put it away. Guilt doesn't get you anywhere either. We make mistakes, and if you're feeling guilty from the past, or if there's something, you know, that you feel you've done wrong, just let it go and start over. Go right ahead, always ahead. Kathy Asaro, is that it? You know, I'm getting more familiar with the cards. If you have to do this often with one card, and when I teach tarot, on the first night I tell my students, I said, you should be able to read with one card. That person, if they're across the table from you, you should probably find out, you know, you'd know what they had for breakfast, what their favorite music is, just from one card. So allow yourself to bring in the information the universe provides for that one person with one card. Kathy. Time to grow your own. Kathy, I don't know if you have the availability to actually have a garden. But if you did, that's something you should do. This is also about now learning to regrow and build finances, or the finances that you have, and know how to plant them and use them so they will reap more and more and more. And that is clever. That's a clever thing that you must do. And it shows a lot of learning about this. Like we said, the Pentacle is about wisdom and learning as well. Angela, an angel. I wonder, are there really beings with wings? I'm sure there are somewhere. And they may have been here, who knows? I don't know if you watch Ancient Aliens, but I do, because they're some of it is far-fetched, but most of it is very accurate, actually, and very eye-openings to a lot of people, and should be taken into consideration as some kind of a lesson too. If you're going to watch television, watching that show might be an advantage for you. This is strength, this is healing. Healing your mind, your body, or actually healing someone else. So if you have the propensity to heal, then try to do it in the fashion that you know and understand. Whether it's grandma's tea, or if it's something, that you've learned in nursing school, for instance, or something, that's different. But you need to use your strength in all areas of your life, helping others right now, and healing yourself. Medicine usually doesn't heal the illness. It usually takes away the symptoms of the illness. So we don't have a lot of medicine to heal certain illnesses, obviously. So self-healing is in all religious texts from the past. It tells you to heal yourself. And that is how it happens, is when your brain starts to recognize the area of concern, changes all the chemistry in your body, and goes to that area with all that chemistry and heals your body. One of my mantras, and I've said it quite a few times here, is my brain is healing my body. And I say it many times, if not out loud, I say it in my mind several times a day. Barbara T. This is someone who's looking out to the future and looking at foreign lands, or looking at a new place to go, somewhere trying to find their place in the world. And obviously you're trying to find your place in the world, whether it's actually a home or what your purpose is. And again, we are sort of blessed in a way to be able to have the time to discover our purposes right now. Is it to go out on the front lines and take a risk with your life to help people? Or is it your job to stay home and reinvent yourself and put yourself where you need to be? I think that that's important. It might mean a move for you. Rebecca Lee. Knight of Cups. Usually the Knight of Cups is sort of like an attorney or someone who knows the rules and law. It could be a police person or someone in the military. But it also represents another kind person coming to help, or that you can call on this person for help, no matter what the issues are. Carol Rose, another Rose. I love that name, actually, Rose. And you have the 10 of Pentacles. That's everything, isn't it? Tens. It's right now you can have anything you want. Actually, be careful what you want, you might get it. That saying is so true. That's why when we do a spell, at the bottom of the spell, when we write it, we put, I ask this to be correct and for the good of all. And you need it to be for the good of you, because you may have asked for something that could bring things that are not good. If you're asking for a lover by name, well, you don't know what mother-in-law you're gonna get, and you don't know if you're thinking of marrying this person, you don't know what bills they have they might bring with them that is hidden. There might be hidden agendas. And that's what this could mean. So I think that being able to have anything you really want right now, it may be a good thing, but be careful what you want. Mitchell Whaley, Queen of Cups. She's beautiful too. All the cups are coming up. And they're all generous people. And the Queen of Cups usually, and like the Queen of Wands is sort of the same, sort of a hostess with the mostest, likes people, likes to entertain. It may not be particularly you, but it could mean you have a sense of humor that will tide you through, and if you don't, you should find one right now. This is someone to entertain you, or entertaining others, and entertaining yourself. Kelly Wayman. Kelly, this is a broken heart, and it comes from the far, far past, so don't bother rethinking everything that happened in the past. You need to go forward now, and it should be evident to all of us that we have to go forward now. We have to smarten up in many different ways, and we have to love ourselves more than we ever thought of. We have to take care of ourselves, thereby helping others, and they don't have to take care of you. If you can put food in your mouth, a roof over your head, no one else has to help you. You're doing a service to the universe and to people if you help yourself and if you love yourself. Important. Melanie Wilbur. Okay, Melanie. This may represent things that you took for granted in the past, and you're looking back and saying, oh my God, I could have done that, I should have done this. Again, that does you no good to go back and look at our mistakes. Or addictions. We have addictions to all kinds of things. Some people just have addictions to comic books, for instance, rather than alcohol or drugs. And an addiction to feeling sorry for yourself. I have known a few people, and it doesn't work. It doesn't help you. Heidi Mills. Heidi. I'll never forget that. I saw Shirley Temple when I was like 3 years old in a movie, and she was Heidi. And that's all I remember. My mother used to dress me just like her. Her exact clothes. Can you imagine? For your own good. Boy, it can't get any clearer than this. This is the Hermit. It's okay to just curl up and stay home. And I don't think you have. It looks like you may have been one that keeps running out to the store, or keeps not wearing a mask, or doing what you should do for yourself. I may be wrong. No psychic is 100% accurate. But, it's okay to cuddle up and stay home. Kelly Roadway. Kelly, there's quite a few Kellys, huh? It's an interesting name. Knight of Wands, a champion. Somebody's gonna come. I think this is a lover. This is someone who's going to care for you, or someone that has cared for you, or is caring for you. To me, it feels like it's coming from the future, and you don't know this person yet. But what a lovely person it is to have in your life. Bill Mullen.
That's our New York boys.
What is it?
It's our New York boys, Bill and Todd.
Bill. Oh my God, Bill and Todd. How wonderful. Hi, Bill. Hi, Todd. Oh my goodness, look at this. Juggling money. This doesn't just mean that. It's balancing what you do with your spirit as well as with your money. Again, doing what is right for you and helping when you can, but don't give away everything. You really can't help everyone, even though I know both of you are good at trying it, Bill. I would like you to see, take more care of yourselves. I want to see you both just love yourselves and stay in and stay away from anything harmful. It looks as though you are going to be helped by someone, and that help will probably keep you well. And I wish you the very best, of course, because I love you. Maria Porter. Maria Porter. Look at this, children. I'm not sure you have children, Maria. I'm not thinking that. I'm thinking this is about the child that you are. You've got to learn to play and not be so serious. And it could be the opposite. Instead of playing and taking things too lightly, maybe you need to be more serious. But a childlike nature is usually a good thing. It keeps you youthful. It keeps you moving. It keeps you happier when you can allow yourself to have the toys that make you happy. Some women collect dolls, and they never stop playing with a Barbie. And some men collect little trucks and antique cars, and it reminds them of their childhood, or it fulfills a childhood that was very sparse, and a childhood that didn't allow you to play or have the things you needed to play with, but you do now. Joan Ford. Tom Ford is one of my favorite designers. Page of Cups. A Page of Cups is, this could be a child, a young man. I'm not sure, but I think it's a young man in spirit around you, a guide of some kind that's there helping you. And don't be afraid if you can sense someone in your home or around you. It's a good thing, not a bad thing. It's protection. Laurie Grace. Boy, the name Laurie is spelled so many different ways. Hers is Lori. And Grace is a nice name too. The Knight of Pentacles. The Knight, again, can be a soldier, a policeman, a doctor, someone in a uniform of some kind. And that man or that person is wise enough to take care of themselves and to help others. I think, Laurie, that might represent you rather than someone else. Or if I'm wrong about that, it's someone around you that will come and protect you. I'm looking at the screen that's telling me your names. And it's very interesting. I'm hoping someday I will see some of you people that I'm talking to, but I feel like I'm in your living room or your bedroom, wherever you're watching. I feel like I'm with you, and that's the pleasure for me to do this, is to feel your energy. Oh, sometimes it almost brings me to tears when I'm sitting here, feeling all the needs, the wants, the love, the kindness, and some of the fears we have. And they can be immense, they can be frightening, yes. And we had a woman today who worked at Market Basket in Salem, and she had had the virus since the end of March, and she was still working. That's a big no-no, but she passed away today. And so, you know, this is a small town. It's called a city, but it's a small town. And it reminds us that we're all family. That she's part of my family. I've been to Market Basket. Not often. It's kind of a chore. So I don't have to do that too much. Other people do it for me now. But I've been there, and they supply us a lot of it anyway. And she's worked there for a long time. Now she's in spirit. And because of her or her boss or the powers that be not taking it seriously enough, not giving her the proper protection that she needed, and not helping her, and we need to help each other. We have to. There's no government that can do it all. In fact, they're as confused as everyone else, and sometimes a little more. And some of that confusion could be mental problems, heaven knows. And we have an election coming. That's going to be very strange. I remember when Trump was running, I was trying to vote from the House, so I sent away for the ballot so that I could vote. It came 3 days after the vote was over. I wonder how that happened. And it happened to another friend of mine who's my age, who stays at home. So those 2 votes didn't get counted because they weren't there. We don't want interference in our election process. So we need to pay very close attention to how this is going to work. And again, project for the best outcome, for the best person. I'm projecting for the one who will put our country back and forward at the same time, back to where it was and much more forward. The greatest country in the world. And I love other countries, I love travel, but if you've been to all these other countries, I'm always glad to get home. That's all I have to say. Drew Parade. Drew, this is your palace. It's your hometown. I don't know if that's where you are, but obviously you need to be home. It kind of feels like you're living in another place rather than where you were born. I could be wrong, but you need to be where you were born. You need to live there. Laura Brock. Oh my God, you got the triple goddess. And this time they're having a good time. They're partying. They have the chalices in their hands and they're dancing. And it sort of means that for you. Lighten up a little bit, you know. Tea time is any time. You know, you sit back, have a cup of tea, reflect on all the good things that are in your life and all the good things that can come to be. Let's start projecting for this to go away completely by visioning what is good. been working for centuries, and now that we all are together here, let's do it together. That's powerful. All our minds projecting for the same thing can beat this. We can ask Maka to destroy the virus, because that's not really what we can do. But we can project healing, we can nurturing, we can project for a wonderful world that we have to come blooming back and giving us prosperity and health and happiness. And I project again for all of us, it's time to love you. It's not like selfish, it's selfness. There's a difference. Looking at your being and what it is and how good it is and what you do have, not what you don't have. I love all of you. I really, sounds kind of crazy, but it's true. Or I wouldn't put myself out here, especially in a black robe and a lot of eye makeup. But I did that since I was a little girl, a given. And I don't care if people don't like it. You don't have to look at me. But I'm there because I want to do whatever it is I can do. Whatever that drop in the bucket is, that's what I want. Everything I have that is magic, I give to you. And I'm going to repeat. Every ending is a beginning, and for witches this is law. Where we enter in, from there we must withdraw.